Welcome to another fire episode of the Mobile School Podcast. Remember, don't like, don't share, don't subscribe. Nobody gives a damn about that. So today I just wanted to touch on the issue of tech and migrants. The way people talk about migrants and tech is really weird. Like, if you think it's bad for black women when they're like, oh, we can teach black women how to code, it gets worse. When it comes to migrants and asylum seekers and refugees, they don't even try to take them seriously. They just teach them like the most basic shit that's not going to help them in any way or form. So we've been talking to a few people who work with like teaching migrants about coding, and we explain to them like, we are not trying to do that whole learn how to code, learn how to use this programming language. Like, we're tired of those things. Like, a lot of things have changed in the past 5 years. That level of coding, of making websites, is really now worthless. Like, people are learning about artificial intelligence, people are learning about fintech. So I thought about it and I was like, okay, what is it that we can do now? Pause. Realize. Dudes thought they were deep with that nonsense. But yeah, like I was saying before, I realized that my uniform is not intact. The issue that has come to our attention is that a lot of migrants, especially in South Africa, mainly asylum seekers and refugees, have been a target of xenophobic attacks in the country, and they're trying very hard to integrate into society, but South African xenophobes, pieces of shit, are not allowing them to do so. So we've been talking to a few companies about what can we do for them, because if you think about it, many asylum seekers in South Africa, they end up on the streets selling fruits and veggies, doing like hair salon stuff on the streets. So I thought to myself, okay, instead of teaching them how to code and do like those things, like, okay, they're gonna code and then what? They don't have work visas. No company's gonna let them do their website. So it's just the cycle of poverty that we're trying to keep them in. So I was like, okay, how about we focus on e-commerce? So we try to create a situation where they can learn how to integrate e-commerce into their WhatsApp. We've spoken about this for our project about e-waste, where we're like, okay, we're going to use Signal, the app, to transport like goods and then let people buy on the app and stuff. But the truth of the matter is that on WhatsApp it's also gonna be easy. But now with this situation, if you're going to sell fruits and veggies, you don't want to teach somebody how to make a website that sells fruits and veggies. You can, but it's like, why? Why don't they just have the people that are in their contact list and say, hey, if you need tomatoes on Friday, I can deliver them to you via Auto on the way. Anyway, by the way, we don't have to use Auto. You can use your own transportation. But the one thing we want to teach them is to teach them how to integrate e-commerce into WhatsApp. So you can put on your story that you have like 10 kgs of potatoes, and somebody can, and you like trying to sell them for a certain price for four. If you say 4, I'm selling for 25 Rand, and they come with like a pack of carrots. Now you can still go do your shopping and your stock. Go take your stock from where you stock at the place where you guys go and you buy veggies and rejected veggies and fruits, and you can sell them online. So that's what we're trying to do right now. We're trying to focus on that. So look out for, I don't want to give it a name. I feel like all our projects have had like names, so we're just gonna say e-commerce on WhatsApp. Like, it's just straightforward. You're not trying to be deep or something or anything like that. So yeah, like, let's try to focus on making sure that when we come with solutions as tech, we don't use that mindset of like, oh, we did this in that country, we did this in that country, this is what we do. So if somebody approaches you and say, we can do something a bit different, don't come with that mindset of like, no, this is not how we do it, go look for somebody else. No, open your fucking mind up. Think. If it's a good idea, it's a good idea. Because that's the thing that destroys a lot of tech companies and like a lot of tech corporations that try to help like the less fortunate. They get stuck on the script, like, this is what we do. Our funders are only giving us money to do this. Like, then get other funders to focus on getting us a bus. That's another thing we're gonna do. Instead of trying to find a place in Pretoria, in Durban, in Joburg, where we're gonna ask them to get into a taxi to come learn how to put e-commerce into their WhatsApp. We don't want those lessons to also last for a week. We just want them to be like, okay, when do you stock up? Okay, do you have a client list? Okay, ask them if it's possible for you to drop off their thing in town, because that's where they used to find you. And then that's what you do, because most of the people, their clientele of the asylum seekers and refugees are people who used to work in town, who work in those buildings that are becoming empty as we speak by the minute, because there's really no money anymore in South Africa and people are desperate. But those fruits and veggie little stalls that migrants have, they help a lot of families because they are cheaper than your usual Woolies and Pick and Pay. So the idea for us is to get a bus, remove all those seats inside, and then install like little computers, maybe tablets. It would be great if it's tablets, so that way we don't have to worry about too much electricity, and we find tablets that can work for a while. Also, tablets look like phones, so when they go home and they try everything that we've taught them on their phone, on their tablets, it's not gonna look different like if you teach them on the phone. So I think also that's gonna create space, because a full computer will have to come with like a whole lot of things. The reason I decided on this, besides the issue of having to not worry about trying to find too many places that can rent out space for free to help migrants, and then they have to tell us what time to do it, and then there's also the issue of electricity. So if we can just get people into a bus where we park it, where we know there's a lot of migrants. There's a lot of migrants in informal sectors. If we can get there with a bus, get them in and move them away, so these xenophobes, pieces of shit, don't think like, oh no, you only helping migrants, we're gonna ban your bus, because they're capable of doing that shit. That's the thing, never underestimate the power of stupidity. So with that said, we feel like this is a great idea to use a bus and then have like little desk inside that bus. It might cost us a lot, but it's going to save us on issues of electricity, it's going to save us on issues of venue, and also it's going to make it easy for us to move around. So we're really looking forward to using that bus idea. And if the people we are trying to partner with have a different idea to that, I want to say they can suck my dick, but I don't like people who don't come up with better ideas because they are stuck with their old ideas. But it will be one of those situations where we'll just tell them like, we're not going to be able to partner with you as mobile schools, because mobile schools, as we've always said, it's not about doing what's already being done or what's being done in other countries. It's to focus on the issue at hand. And the issue at hand in South Africa is that there's a lot of xenophobia, and asylum seekers and refugees that make a lot of money from selling fruits and veggies on the streets are being removed by governments and municipalities, because apparently they are making the streets dirty. So what's the best option? No, don't teach them how to make websites. Teach them how to sell all those products they used to sell on WhatsApp. When it comes to delivery, there's other options that we can look at, where there's like taxis that are always moving around, and taxi drivers can make a bit of money from delivery. They were going there anyway. So if you stay in the township or in an informal settlement and there are taxis that go to Joburg, you can just ask the taxi driver like, hey, there's somebody who's going to be at this robot at this time, can you please just drop them off this plastic? And he's going to give you like 25 rand. You can take the 5 rand. The taxi driver is not going to say no, he was going there anyway, that's an extra 5 rand. There's ways to deal with some of the challenges, but we have to think out of the box, and we have to stop trying to copy what Western companies and American companies mostly are doing, because we don't have the infrastructure and the mindset and the technology that they have. So the fact that we're already dealing with load shedding for 6 hours a day, it means that we cannot find a flat, because people are going to travel and come there to learn about e-commerce on WhatsApp, and then as soon as they get there, there's no electricity. What the hell are we gonna do? Especially if we're using computers. So if we're using tablets, so we have to start there. I'll start looking for companies that can donate tablets. And then to just take out seats out of a bus is not gonna be a problem, and just turn it into a little mini class. So I know this is like, oh shit, great idea. I've heard that before and I'm still broke. But this is not a podcast about how I come up with great ideas and they never go anywhere. No, I'm not a podcaster. I'm an independent TED Talk. I'm not a podcaster. I'm an independent TED Talk. Say what's up to those. How about you?